One reason we don't see the things we want to experience in our lives is because we tune out the possibility of them. Many times we don't believe they exist, so they don't. If we approach the process of creating our life intentionally from a place of lack, neediness, or too much seriousness, we'll most likely just get more to be needy or serious about. But what if we're just not noticing the things we want? After all, our perception dictates what we experience. What if the things we desire are already available and we're just not allowing ourselves to believe in the possibility of them? Consequently, keeping those things out of our perception and therefore out of our experience. Instead of thinking of our reality as something that is out of our control and just left to chance, we can begin to realize that our mind, attentiveness, and perception are something that we have complete control of. Albert Einstein once said that reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. And it's important to understand that our beliefs and perceptions are in control of that reality. Visual illusions reveal the ways in which the brain creates mental representations that differ from the physical world. I'm going to show you a couple of images to demonstrate this, but do not stare at them too long if you feel dizzy or sick from viewing them. The first image is known as dancing snakes, but there isn't actually any movement in the image at all. The information collected by the eye is processed by the brain, creating a perception that in reality does not match the true image. Your perception of any movement is an interpretation of what is observed with your vision. The brain perceives that as seeing movement and believes it to be real. Another visual illusion, known as the scintillating grid, makes it appear that black dots form and vanish at the intersections of the vertical and horizontal lines, when in actuality they really don't. Take a look at this third illusion. Is the man facing forward, or do you see a profile view? Maybe you perceive both of them. And even further than that, take a look at this stereogram. Stereograms are 3D images hidden within another picture. In order to view the 3D images, you simply stare at the picture until your eyes relax and the image starts to take shape. I find these work best if I cross my eyes for just a few seconds and then let them gently relax back to their normal state. The eyes have to be oriented as if focusing on an object behind the image, causing the two neighboring repetition dot patterns to merge until the background image appears. I'm going to show you what is hidden behind this particular stereogram, so if you don't want to see it until you've figured it out, you'll want to turn away for just a few seconds. All of these illusions are great illustrations of how our perceptions can shift. By studying visual illusions, we can learn the mechanisms by which the brain constructs our conscious experience of the world. But one thing is for sure, each person's perception and conscious experience is unique. We perceive and experience reality based on what we have previously observed and perceived, creating a pattern within the brain. For example, when you look at this video, you're conscious of it. You directly experience the images and audio as a part of your mental world, and in turn, probably form thoughts about it, and possibly even feel some emotions. All these things make up your current perception via the inner life of your mind, or consciousness. But your experience of it will be unlike anyone else's experience of it. There might be some similarities, but the totality of each person's experience will differ based on their inner mental world. And your experience will be very specific to you. What this means is, at any time, it's completely possible that you are directly in contact with the thing you want most, and never even see it because it doesn't register in your mind. You don't perceive it. The universe is a series of probabilities and possibilities, and based on scientific evidence, it's quite possible that everything we perceive as real is simply an illusion that we've constructed in our minds based on familiar patterns. So how do you break a pattern that you no longer choose to experience? The first step is to challenge your perception. For a simple exercise, Begin telling yourself that you find coins everywhere you go. Say it to yourself each day, multiple times per day. Once your mind begins to accept this, you might be astonished at how many coins you actually find. Just like the stereogram picture, you will begin to see what you didn't see before. Another way to begin stretching the way you perceive things is by focusing your attention on something close to you that you've not given much attention to before. If you really focus, everything else around you will begin to fade away. Next, try to view your surroundings from the point of view of the object that you are focusing on. As odd as it may sound, pretend that you are the object, from the position that it's currently in, and observe what you see from this point of view. As you do this, you may be able to notice a slight shift in your perception. From this point of view, you have made a jump in your reality, where you are suddenly viewing the world from a totally new perspective. Once you have mastered this exercise, you can begin to change your perception to the point of view from the thing that you want most. Pretend you are that thing. How does it observe the world? What does it see in its surroundings? What type of environment and people is it around? In doing this, you begin to match the consciousness of that thing and a totally new perception. Your perception of the world and its perception become one. You embody the exact state that this thing embodies, making you one with the consciousness of it. It becomes a part of your inner mental world and perception, and you become a part of it. Try these simple exercises often to begin changing how you view things. You may then realize that your reality is created by your perceptions and beliefs. And you don't have to change your beliefs in a rapid fashion to begin manifesting more of what you want. You simply have to be open enough to allow new perceptions to be an option.